Alrighty, welcome back for another TNR video. This is our final video at our Kate's Park location at Weyahwachin. And I'll just give a quick shout out and say thanks to Takaya Tours and the Tsleil-Waututh Nation for hosting us all summer at Weyahwachin. It makes for a bit of a change of scenery, a pretty awesome spot. And so last night's race we had a lap course. So we had a 2 kilometer laps. So everyone's heading the opposite direction than normal. And so yeah, you could choose doing a 1 lap course for 2K, 2 laps for 4K, or 3 laps for a 6K course.
Yeah, I'm going to see a lot of chaos around the buoys here shortly.
We've got Mike and Jack here. Now this is all drone footage because we were close to shore, so we opted for the drone shots. So yeah, it makes for pretty cool. We're definitely getting a little tight in this gap here. It's definitely strategy, you know, depending on what the first corner looks like. Sometimes it's worth absolutely blowing up off the start to make sure you get a bit of a clean look to the first buoy. So
yeah, you could probably get hung up pretty tight on those buoys.
Oh, absolutely. I know I talked to some of the guys, and yeah, some of the corners. Look at that shot. That's a cool shot.
Yeah, you see those longer bows kind of colliding with the singles there.
You can see Rob Magus, and he's in the V1, so he's got no rudder in that red and black canoe on the outside.
Yeah, you can see
he's throwing the OC4 in there too. That's a lot of boat. You don't want to be going into a corner with them, that's for sure.
They're trying pretty good though.
Oh yeah, they did well. But yeah, right of weight in that situation. So yeah, great shot of people on the beach as we paddle back. And Burrard Inlet, that's the Roche Point marker there.
A lot of spectators for this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we get the sub crowd coming in. We got a prone crew from coming out from the Jericho area.
Are prones easier to turn, or what's that kind of like?
I think there's obviously no rudder or steering, but you know, you just kind of like swimming. You just use your hands. There's different maneuvering techniques for sure. But yeah, they're shorter craft, so they turn pretty good.
Right.
So we got Shane leading off the start here. I see 2 Steves. And I think that might be Vaughn Reed, our guest from New Zealand who's been around for the last few weeks.
Starting to see people get into their little packs here
as
the corners evolve.
Well, and the corners also change things up, right? You've got a long straight to less than a kilometer to try to maybe put some distance, but then everyone bunches back up on the corner. I know from my time sup racing, these races are tough because just having to slow down and restart every corner is exhausting.
You really like torturing our racers with these cornering courses.
Yeah, some people like them, some people don't. I think it's good. It just makes it different. I know sometimes if I set a course that's too short, people complain that there's not enough course, but no one complains when there's lots of corners because it definitely makes it tougher.
Right.
You may also notice that it was tight and bright night last night, so we've got some outfits to keep an eye out for here. If you're wondering why everyone seems to be in their bright colors.
So yeah, like when you're going around the buoys, like obviously you're going pretty slow. Like how long do you think it takes to get back up to full speed in the straights?
It depends how much energy you have. But within 4 to 5 strokes, you should be back up to cruising speed. But yeah, it's that start and stop. That's a big line there. And then with the corners too, you got to decide if you're going to make a move on someone, you need enough space to make that move.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like car racing, right? Do you try to take the inside on someone? Do you go wide around the corner? Try to beat them wide?
Like if you were in that position, what would you think you'd be doing?
I guess it depends again on that energy, right? If you think you are faster, maybe you take the wide line, paddle a little bit longer, but you've got to increase the effort by quite a bit.
Right.
Figure out where the apex of the corner is for you. I've been watching F1 lately, so we're all about
the car analogies.
Yeah, the car analogies. Corner apex is key, so we went with a tight apex at the buoy, so they're starting wide on that corner.
Yeah, big gap here.
Yeah,
corners.
Lead group is moving.
Yeah, corners are starting to show here.
From the sup side of things too, we also normally these races are just, paddleboard versus paddleboard, but when you throw the surf skis in there, it changes the dynamic because the surf skis have the rudders, but they do not turn as tight as, someone who's skilled on a paddleboard can turn on the corners. So
Right.
you generally don't want to let a surf ski get inside of you on the corner if you're on a sup. So you want to try to find the inside and trust that they're going to take the corner wide so that you've got the inside space to go.
Do you see a closer gap when it's kind of these races between watercraft?
I think so, yeah. I think, especially with the short courses too, it maybe gives you a little more. People don't get away from you, even if they're ahead. They turn the corner, it feels like they're closer.
Right.
So maybe it's harder to break people mentally when the course stays tight like this.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to see on here too, but right around this time of the race, when I was out there timing with Carly, and it was just the wind just picked up. Like I said, it doesn't look like it as much on the drone, but we got a bit of a squall that came through and made things pretty interesting.
Yeah, it looks pretty flat from this video.
Yeah, such a cool shot there. Buddy rounding the corners. All right, so it looks like the two Steves have pulled out front. That's Steve Esselar in the front in the Epic, and Steve Juranovic in the NCAB.
Yeah, they're usually out in front there. What's their background?
Well, I know Steve J was in the, has some sprint kayak background. Steve Esselar is South African, which means that surf ski's in his blood, I think, apparently, is how that goes.
Right.
And then they're named Steve, which means that you're fast in a surf ski, apparently.
So yeah, big surf ski community down in South Africa there?
Yeah, South Africa is definitely one of the hubs. South Africa, Australia. Absolutely, but I think some of the biggest surf ski races in the world are usually in South Africa. One
Right.
of the biggest communities, for sure. Yeah, nice shot coming around. Things do get a little shallow, so everyone is staying closer to the light than to the shore there.
Especially given the track record of rudder losses from last week.
We had a rough week last week for rudders. Thanks for those of you who brought your boats immediately to Coast Outdoors for a bit of rudder replacement and carbon fiber work.
Well, I heard they were pretty busy that week too, so
Yep.
hopefully everyone was situated. But they're coming in pretty tight here.
Yeah, so Axel and Sienna, let's see what they do on this corner. So yeah, they're taking, the tighter line to the buoy. Paddler in the front, Axel is, hammering on his left foot, trying to crank that rudder around. Not a bad turn. The duo, as far as double surf skis go, is a little bit shorter, so that one turns maybe a bit better than some others.
Right. Yeah, the gaps are just getting bigger and bigger here.
Starting to spread out a little bit. Oh yeah, I saw this jet ski on there. I was wondering if that jet ski was getting in the way of anybody. You can kind of see a little more texture on the water here as that wind is rolling through some boat waves. There's Peter Allen on his sup bouncing over some boat waves. And this is what you like. You get the wind with you, these waves rolling as well. Well, if Bob was here, he would get excited about that speed up.
Loves the speed.
Loves the effects, yeah. Again, there's the two Steves. Yeah, you can see the texture on the water. Like it's not changing the sea state too much, but you can see that there's some wind going on for sure.
What's as far as you can remember, like the craziest race as far as waves that you've seen?
Like in Deep Cove?
Yeah, for TNRs.
The first one that comes to mind was aboard the fjord, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, where the wind totally kicked up. Someone will have to remind me of the year if you guys remember what year that was. But we ended up, a couple people didn't finish, and multiple, capsizes, and some people love it, some people hate it. Depends which boat you chose or board you chose that day too. Changes how you feel about how the race goes.
It's always the boat's fault. Yeah, or the paddle.
With our races though, we never really do a one direction race. So if you do get a headwind, there's a good chance you also get that wind helping you at some point in the course. So you're never paddling the same direction for too long.
Yeah, everyone's so spread out, and I keep saying this, but not a lot of groups really.
Yeah, you find your packs. It's always interesting too when you get, like in this case, we've got sort of two packs racing each other, but there's sometimes something to be said about the line you choose as well. You know, if you have a rising tide, you're fighting, you go closer to shore to try to mitigate that. Not going to make a huge difference in this distance between each other there.
Right.
I think the drone was the right call for this footage, though. It's an awesome way to watch the race there. Don't get the close-ups like we do in the boat, but...
Making me look bad here.
Yeah. No. You haven't crashed into a tree yet, so...
Not yet,
yeah.
no.
You're looking pretty good so far this year.
So yeah, last week we started from the beach, so right about here.
Yep, that was where our swim started. This is Matthew Knight in the surf ski there, just pulling ahead of, I think that's Warren behind him and Scott Wanless. So a few weeks back, I was talking about how Matt's been moving his way up the field, and it's good to see him in that pack with Scotty and Warren.
So yeah, the steeds are starting to lap people now. So
Yep. Yeah, that definitely happens, especially when you've got SUPs in the same crowd. Sea kayaks, you know, it's a different category.
Yeah.
Got, you know, or the inflatables with dog on board, you know, a totally different category.
Right.
Yeah, ended up being a relative. It definitely felt a little bit smoky last night. You can see that bit of haze in the air. So still got some wildfire smoke blowing in. Makes for cool sunsets usually.
Exactly. The cool shots.
Yeah.
The drone.
It was good too. We had a couple bonus stand-up paddleboarders. We had Cynthia Wanham on a paddleboard and Jessica Hayes, usually surf ski paddlers, but they opted for the paddleboard last night, which is nice to see.
Try something new.
Yeah.
So what do we have coming up in the next couple weeks here? Are we back in Deep Cove?
Yeah, we are back in Deep Cove. The first race back is we call our doubles championship. So we try to encourage as many people to get into double kayaks as we can. Whether that's a double sea kayak, double surf ski, find a partner. Yeah, see what we can do. So yeah, you'll see a bunch of doubles. It'll be nice to be back in Deep Cove and you know, change the scenery again. Continue our after parties at the Deep Cove Yacht Club.
It's the most important part right there.
Yes. Yeah, the darts league can restart for a couple weeks.
Gets pretty competitive, or?
Yeah, you know, just for bragging, right? There's no prize money on the line yet. We're looking for a darts sponsor though, so
Oh yeah.
any darts wholesalers out there watching? I'm sure you're watching this video right now.
Yeah. I mean, the darts championships. Have you seen those clips? They got pretty.
That's pretty
crazy.
intense, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
there isn't quite the same, you know, fanfare on our Tuesday night darts league, but it's just as serious, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is Jamie Sterling here. Now, Jamie's known for fully adopting the Titan Bright outfit on the night. Unfortunately, you know, you can only make out the pink shirt there, but usually he's got little to no pants on. That's kind of how it goes. Good shot of the OC4 that came over from Lotus.
Yeah, that must be a interesting boat to travel with. Get over here.
Yeah, well, and they just paddle it over.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
Okay,
it doesn't
that
have to
makes-
get on the roof.
It's gonna
They need a big trailer, I think, to move that one usually, or at least a big rack on the truck.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, are those very heavy, or are they still pretty light, or relative to their size?
I'm gonna say that they're probably lighter than you'd think for their size, but they're not light.
Right.
I know there's some, you know, like competition OC6s that are incredibly light for how big they are. Not to fit 6 people in it, but still be a light enough craft.
Right.
It's a good shot of the steering there. Nice work. I think that's Brian in the back steering. Good corner.
But yeah, a lot lighter than the dragon boat we have here.
Yes, yeah. Same with Dragon Boat. We've got a relatively heavy Dragon Boat by Dragon Boat standards too. That's why our Dragon Boat teams are so strong, because they do the weight training.
Right. We see them doing the warm ups before they go out.
That's what we need for TNR. Maybe a group warm up circle needs to start happening.
Like, we gotta have someone race the dragon boat in one of these.
Normally, all I see is the racers warming their mouths up before TNR.
Yeah. Oh well. So yeah, they're getting pretty close to shore here. I mean, it drops off pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, no, it's not too bad. There is some random rocks that you got to keep an eye out for, but see if you're looking closely, you can see we've got a nice bright pink wig.
Oh wow!
In this V8 here, I think that's Diane.
That's quite the fit.
Yeah. So some people really went for it. It was awesome. The seagull seems to be following the drone.
Yeah, now's not the place to crash it.
All right, this looks like maybe did we miss our lead finishers? This is Rob Hansen coming into the finish. Yeah, so Rob was in there. It looks like 7th place as I'm looking at the results here. Some good results from David Goosen and Vaughn Reed, who came in just before him. Chris Shane and Steve J got the win over Steve Eslar this week.
Yeah, you mentioned trying to get the finishes to change based on like age and stuff. Like, is that showing much?
You know what? That I don't think we've quite figured out the formula yet. Still got to do some behind the scenes work to get that age handicapping sorted. So if I find some time, we'll try to get that going on the results.
Next season, we'll have it. Hopefully.
Yes. Yeah. The start is just getting some ages in. So
yeah. So yeah, it looks like still a group going around for another lap. Or are they going to cut in here? Can't really tell.
We must be getting close here. Yeah, these guys are got to be coming in. Yeah, it was a nice night to sort of finish off things at Kate's, and yeah, it's one of those sad times of year when you start realizing how dark it is. You know, I do prizes at the end of the race, and suddenly it's dark. Oh, good finish here, Axel and Sienna. They're gonna sneak in ahead of Jackie Flowers there in the yellow sea kayak.
Oh, is that your tight and bright fit there? What did we have on?
You can see me on there. I had some nice tights, bright shirt, a pink headband.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
What about Carly?
Carly had the tights as well. Yeah, the pink tank top.
Where'd the inspiration for this kind of theme come from?
That's a good question. We've been doing tight and bright for a number of years here. I remember it from old parties. We used to have themed parties, and it was a tight and bright themed party, and so we figured, why not? Everyone's usually wearing tight things anyway. Let's go tight and bright.
Back in my high school days, definitely.
Yeah. What, last year?
Up in graduate.
You're just young, Jack.
I'm getting up there. I'm in the 20s now.
So in the 20s, wow.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
we got a swimmer. Look at that, good shot. Who's that out? We're skipping right. I think that might have been Giannis, actually, now that I recognize the boat. Oh, another high-speed move there.
Bob Happy.
Yep.
He'll be watching this crowd.
There's Tim Quarles coming in. That's Jody Boats. Jody had a great tight and bright outfit on. Good job, Jody.
Yeah, Tim's really been adapting this OC1, eh?
He's enjoying it. Yep, he's a multi-craft athlete, that guy.
Yeah, here's the SUP.
The SUP battle.
Yeah.
Sheena ahead of Reagan here. Yeah, I think on the SUP with a bit of breeze that we did have, there was definitely one direction was a lot nicer than the other direction for, speaking of tight and bright, Brad maybe won the day there with his pink tutu and his mesh neon top. That was quite something.
Oh yeah. Do you have is there a category for best outfit or?
Well, actually, it's harder to see in the sea kayak. Kate here in the red sea kayak did a great. She had a very colorful onesie on.
Oh wow.
So she maybe won that award on the onesie front. It appears Ron Relorda missed the memo on telling the tight and bright are.
Right.
Maybe went tight, not so bright.
Yeah, a lot of pinks. I'm noticing it's the.
Yeah, I mean it's a high vis crowd as it is, but safety wise, you know, tight and bright is not a bad way to go when you're trying to stay visible and safe on the water too. This looks like we're coming up to the end here, but thanks everyone for continuing to watch. We love the comments. Keep them coming. We will have 2 more races on our YouTube channel here for the season, and then we've got our the Weyahwachin Whipper, Saturday, September 12th. So hopefully if you're local or if you're willing to make the trip for our big year-end event, Saturday, September 12th, the Weyahwachin Whipper, sign up online and Thanks, everybody.